So, otherwise, this is game one of Somppu from the Blockhouse Boomers versus Flontier from MDS. And let's just start. So it's Russia versus France on Florida, which I think you got to be pretty happy with as France. It's like a kind of a notoriously good France map. You get the market start, you can often just go for a TP and hunting dogs and an idlers 14 age up. Russia doesn't get quite as much out of it. You can go for hunting dogs, which Somppu is going for here, but you don't get anything super special, and like you're not even guaranteed to get a idlers 14 age up. And the Nat Scout as France is also really nice. You can see how much grabbing sheep already. He's looking for all the treasures he wants to take after he's done with this TP. And yeah, he's going to get probably a lot more sheep than Somppu. So going for 100 XP. It'll be kind of nice, gonna get it before his first shipment. The wood trickle won't help his age up time, unfortunately, but pretty good. Flontier getting 100 food, so he might even be able to get a 13 village up if he eats the sheep and everything. About fog of war. Yeah, still a couple of nice treasures he can get if he goes up this way. Whereas Somppu is just scouting along the coast. There's also nice treasures, sort of. I mean, this one's a bit hard to take. There's like nice treasures wherever you go on this map. He's got 80 wood behind his base, which has not seen. You can just see this guy going in and out of the fog of war. Really hard to notice. Flontier starting the 90 coin now. Gonna be nice just for faster steel traps or something. And let's see. It looks like he may be going for the 13, but he's not eating any sheep yet. Yeah, it definitely looks like a 13 relay job. Which is pretty good. You're getting rushed. Get your first batches out earlier. Your market ups earlier, so you like great coats. And can get 80 food now as well. Prince getting 100 coin, which is also good. Means he can either get an early steel traps maybe, or just get his like first batch of musks for his rush that little bit faster. And I imagine that he will be rushing, because that's what Russia does and also what Somppu is kind of known for. Though he looks like he's only sending one vill for the blockhouse so far, which is a little weird. Usually see 2 or 3. Not only to get it up faster, you know, just in case, but if you're getting like raided in your base, it's kind of nice to have 3 vills forward just hunting under the blockhouse where they're not getting idle under your TC. But it's just going up with 1 vill. Which is it's a lot safer than it used to be now that Minutemen just don't instantly nuke vills. But it might not be up in time to get like the first batch of musk going instantly. And once again, if you're wondering, if you just tuned in, why there's no extra information, these players didn't play with the mod on, it looks like. So, first thing we're gonna see here from Flontier if he starts racks or stable. And the general principle is if Russia starts Musk costs, then Iraq's is good. And if Russia starts Strelot costs, then a stable is good. But you can't really know, and Russia is usually the one scouting you and being reactive to your building. So stable is generally considered the safer choice. You just take less idling than you would if he goes Strelitz and you start Musk. And you can just run away. He tries to fight. Go raid or something. Okay, and yeah. Somp hasn't scouted the stable, but he's just going for the safe meta 5 Musk opening anyway. Because, and I wish I could check his market ups, but I can't. He's probably got at least hunting dogs, I would imagine. And Flontier, I would say, already has steel traps and doesn't have great codes yet. Oh, now he does. Deleted. This is good. So until the Cossacks come in, he doesn't really care about taking fire from the Ruskets, and he's going to get at least 4. Us, maybe, if he like eats a sheep or something. Ah, Prince getting a second batch quite quickly. So I guess this is, like, in some way the market paying off for Russia. You don't usually get your second Musk batch that fast. Ah, that's a great pop, though. The Musks are just out of position, and the Huss are getting some great swings. Bit of Vil fighting. And yeah, he's just picking up 3 Cossacks before losing anything. And it looks like he did get 5 Huss out. So a really nice hold from Flontier so far, but Prince is just going for the big old 5-4, maybe even 13. So the pressure is not over. And he's shipping 8 bows in response, which might be overkill. He could just do a bit of Vil fighting here and be okay, but if Prince does follow up with 13 Strelets, then yeah, the 8 bows will make sense. Yeah, just some really efficient Vil fighting. I can't check if he has Blunderbuss, and I don't actually know what the stats should be if he does. But CDB fighting is great anyway. Ah yes, so 8 bows paying off already. Pretty good. And yes, Somp is going for the 5-4-13 as all in as you can possibly get. But the rush doesn't look like it's done much damage so far. I don't think he's killed a Vil unless I've missed it. And Flontier hasn't been idling too much. I keep on almost calling him Prince, because it's Prince's Pokemon. No, this is Somppu Konku, Somali. Yeah, going back in, more Musks and the Strelet shipment. And what does Flontier have in queue? Musk-Huss. Not too much food though, he's not going to get great batches here. He's going to have to rely a lot on kiting and Vil fighting. But the good thing is that when Russia does this and he's already lost his Cossacks, like he's not really going to get any significant amount of Cossacks soon. He's dropped a stable. But yeah, I mean, look at his coin income. So why this has been happening, Flontier's like one hunt that he managed to get under has just sort of wandered off, as D hunts tend to do. And he does have this one. This actually looks like his starting hunt that's also wandered off. But if we turn Fog of War off, yeah, so this is his next one, and like beyond that, it's really, everything's quite far. That's definitely something he's going to worry about. And he'll probably have to play Age 2 for a little bit, instead of looking to Age ASAP. Just because of those hunts. Thump in the meantime, just massing more ship 13 Strelets, but wasn't able to do anything with them. which is unfortunate for him. But the one thing he does have going for him is that Flontier in the meantime doesn't seem to feel like he can raid at all, and he hasn't tried to, which maybe he should, but at the same time, Somp just keeps on coming into line of sight every now and then. So he wants his Huss to deal with that. Shipping coin just to mass some more. Actually be able to get some decent Cossack batches now. Just making a lot of musks because Flontier's making a lot of Huss, and also making Cossacks just because it's kind of his only unit that can kill CDBs. Flontier 3 Huss, so this is either like a defensive timing or he's going to try and break the blockhouse. It's going to be defensive though because some's going to come in anyway. But he's being careful, he doesn't want to overcommit just yet. And with a good Minutemen pop, this looks like it could be potentially a cleanup for Flontier. Not like great positioning on the Huss, they're just sort of milling around the buildings instead of getting a really nice snare, but still snaring. And Flontier is trading pretty well, I'd say, but Tom's able to get out with most of his mass and just get back to the blockhouse. The trees are just good for him. Us can't get a great position once again. And Flontier repels that, but not going to break the blockhouse. And he's getting onto this hunt at least. But it also doesn't look like he's going to be able to age. Yeah. Still feels like he needs to queue units just to fight and defend. He's saying lol to that CDB. Probably like stuck his rally point forwards for the Minutemen, and it just wandered off. Oh, he's getting a raid in now, so this is good. If he wants to play a prolonged age 2, this is the sort of thing he needs to do. Because eventually Russia will just get ahead on eco and get better units with Boyas as well. Now it looks like he wants to push the blockhouse. Just while he's, you know, still got maybe some sort of mass advantage from his 4-Ville shipment. But Som's still getting good batches. Wait, let's check if he's got boys. He does have boys, okay, yeah, so his army's already looking quite good, but his costs are way off trying to catch this raid. So he'd be able to defend this really easily with all his extra boyard costs, but well, Flontier's going to back off anyway. But that's just like half the value of raiding, right? Is making the other guy send all his stuff back while you push. And yeah, Flontier just not going to age at all, it looks like. In fact, he doesn't have a full like age 2 stack of cards. He doesn't have 600 coin, which is quite unusual, I would say. Like even in a water deck, I think you want to fit 600 coin in. Got Pioneers instead, so yeah, it definitely looks like a very long age 2 plan for him. And oh, another thing to check is, yeah, he does have Cav HP, so that will help. Somp, in the meantime, seems to have got a pretty good read that Flontier's not aging anytime soon, so he doesn't feel the need to pressure very hard. I'd like to see him drop another blockhouse from this, and he almost definitely will, I would say. Probably on this side, maybe here, maybe right next to it. Going for a little scout raid with one Cossack, just checking that Flontier is not sneaking vills to the side. Flontier's going to go for these hunts instead. And he's walling here. That's very cheap and effective. He's going to get around, but I imagine... Oh, he might pick off a low CDB, actually. They can defend themselves pretty well, though, if he notices. Yeah, it looks like he'll pick off one. And pushing in the meantime. The classic Somali drag box. And yeah, Flontier's just still massing. Oh, lots of idols. Not sure why, actually. I should just look at the fight. Yeah, Somp doesn't really need to pressure that much. He just needs to keep poking, like, get a good read on how much mass Flontier has, and he can just tell if he's aging or not from that mass. Okay, that's where all the idols were. The hunt just ran out there. Somp, in the meantime, gathering pretty well. Getting raided a bit, gonna respond, but still has a lot of vills. Flontier maybe still has a slight eco lead. The CDBs. I don't know, big maths. Don't have the graphs again. And now Flontier's got Cav HP, it looks like, so... Got at least something going for him in terms of units. But this is such a hard position to break. Somp's got so much range stuff. All these trees. And he's just got to kite his way out of there. Gonna get some good batches to reinforce this. But it still looks like he's not gonna break the blockhouse. And Rush is just slowly scaling while I chew through the map. I'm going Eco Theory now. Could have gone crates and massed a bit more instead, but Eco Theory does also make sense. There's just so much res on this map. And yeah, Flontier going crates now. Just food because he doesn't really have anything else. But this is a situation where maybe, like, he's still sort of on not super safe hunts, but safe-ish hunts. And if he had 600 coin, this could be an age up, potentially. But again, he just, like, doesn't feel like he can, I don't think. Not going for a raid while he postures on the front. Good classic distraction tactic. He's raiding with all his cav, actually. And he did eventually get that second blockhouse up, yeah, just right next to the other one. Might want to have secured some hunts with it, but it's nice having two right next to each other. And once again, Flontier trying to get the engage to win the game. But Somp is just going to kite back to the blockhouses. Get a million more ruskets with his very nice eco. And yeah, he's even got a third here now. This is such a hard position to push into. And a lot of ruskets are melting, but at the same time, it looks like the cab's going to die before any husk can get onto the strelets. And he's not getting much of a raid in the meantime, just sieging a house where that old mine was. No, I don't think that killed, like, really any vills, at least not yet. But Flontier is quite idle right now. Again, running out of hunts here, he's going to have to move up. Or move some vills here. Now he's finally getting on top of vills, but there's musks to respond. And in the meantime, some just doing more poking forwards, kiting back. And the husk mass is just dwindling, and he's running out of food to replace it. So it's starting to look pretty good for Russia. Then again, a lot of Strelets have died here, so can't contest this huge musk mass quite so easily. But I imagine he has a lot of stuff in queue yet. Just 10 more Ruskers, 10 more Strelets. Gathering here, and yeah, out here. Now, even now, I mean, it's a quite dodgy, but like, he could have cancelled those batches and tried to queue an age. Like, there's not a lot of Strelets to push into that musk mass, so maybe. But then, you know, all his vills are exposed, so might just be a bit too late. It's just so hard to win this in Age 2 as French, though. Kind of need to go for some sort of really early timing or like a miracle vill pull. Which now he's stacking 2 shipments, and like, I don't know, like, you're not going Age 3, so I think the players just pioneers and do a big drag box onto the forward base with all your vills. Gonna get a pretty good raid here. Blockhouse is gonna take quite a long time to go up, especially if he's killing the vills on it first. Gonna respond with all his masks, which maybe gives, if Flontier sees that, he could maybe go forwards, kill a blockhouse. There are a lot of Strellas there now though, and I can't even see any us apart from these 3, so no, he can't do that now. And Russia's definitely outscaled at this point. He's even got Eco Theory in with 60 vills. Kind of running low on hunts though. Like, this side is almost completely out. Flontier, this is going to be a point of contention. Somp's moving vills here now. Yeah, it's kind of forcing a fight on the front, just so like neither player can loop around the back and pressure those vills. And Somp's mass is starting to look really scary. Does he have? He doesn't have AA. But his units are still really efficient with boyers. And just his eco behind it. Now we're getting the vill pull. It's because he has no other option. But just very few Haas to deal with these Strelets. And Somp really just has to do a little bit of kiting back to avoid the vills taking too much fire. And just focus the Haas, then he's free. Strelets getting into melee with the masks, but they don't really care. Not like other skirms, they're kind of HP heavy. And you're just happy that Strelets are dying, really. Going for another raid in the meantime. This is fine. Koss wouldn't, like, he's got pure masks, so doesn't really need the Koss in the fight. They could kill some CDBs. And now they're gonna fight over this hunt, it looks like. Vill pool forcing Somp back, but like, that's just a lot of idle vills, and not even a bad trade for Somp otherwise. Tower being annoying, but it takes kind of a long time to kill vills. Is that a negative? Yeah, okay, so they do quarter damage against vills, it looks like. And again, Flontier is just losing all of his expensive husks, and he's just never been able to mass enough of them to win a fight. Vel's from Flontier. It's nice. He's got nothing else. And he has ship pioneers as well. Just gonna let him gather for a little bit longer, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. It looks like yeah, Somppu just hasn't seen that hunt. Go back to the action. A little bit of raiding. The pioneers, CDBs though, can defend themselves from 2 costs. And Flontier lost quite a lot of vills with all that vill pulling and raiding in the meantime, it looks like. Somppu is just solidly ahead. Kind of running out of food as well though. Dropping 2 blockers, this is on the coast. Maybe signals that he wants to go for some sort of water play. Flontier's dropping a dock to probably train fishing boats. Well, not yet. And yeah, the Vels are on the coast, so Somppu is just going to push somewhere else. Let's see if he's... Yeah, he's shipping his own Vels again, because there's nothing else, and now that the res on the map has run out, they're just going water to try and survive. Looks like these were forgotten in the drag box because there were too many units. This is a really nice little res pocket. Not going to last forever. And Somppu is still getting really good batches. He's on mills now. This hunt sort of wandered into his line of sight, so maybe he'll pick that up. He's getting his techs already. Bit of a fight on the water. Maybe gonna lose. Yeah, he's gonna lose that. Unfortunate. But at least he's got a safe place to retreat his other one too. Another fight, and again, just not enough us. Story of this game. Tree's really good. The Somp, that is. Just got a lot of range stuff. And both players have used all their cards. The Flontier hasn't shipped Eco Theory. Okay, that's game over. And yeah, so Somp just not really doing a ton of damage with his rush, but forcing France to stage 2 for quite a while, and France was never really able to get in a good raid or a really good fight. Just slowly eking out the win with attrition. So that is 1-0 to Somp for game 1. So there's only 4 wrecks here, and they forgot to record one, it looks like. I don't know which one it'll be. I'm just going to find out with the rest of you. But yeah, unfortunately, we're missing a game, and we're also missing the spec mod because they didn't play with it on. Just one sec. Okay. Let me just check the... Yeah, mic's still working. Okay, so on Dakota, map 2, I think. They didn't forget to record this one. We have Flontier on the Indians and Somp on the Brits. India is sort of considered one of the few possible counter picks to Brit, but I think it's still pretty even. Especially, like, you get quite consistently decent hunts on this map as Brit. Maybe this one's a little far, maybe it'll wander closer, but this one should be able to get into the TC, and this one, pretty big hunt for sure. Maybe his 3rd/4th after that is a bit far. Alright, so interestingly, Somppu is like historically a massive India main, but you don't see him playing them now because ever since the whole ceasefire nerf quite some time ago, he seems to think they're pretty bad. Maybe they just don't mesh so well with his playstyle anymore. Flontier getting some wood, which is always good as India. Speeds up your age up. So efficient. Oh, and he might steal this. It's kind of hard to steal treasures with India because your monks will like go in for an automatic melee attack instead of like staying exactly where you tell them. And it's also hard to tell when they're in position because of their massive obstruction radius. But it looks like it's in position here to instantly click. I think Somppu got it first though. Yeah, he did. And that's another sad thing about India is you can't even fight this because like you can't snare and your guy's just kind of stuck one-on-one with like any other explorer. But on the other hand, you're mobile, you can escape, they can heal each other, and go get some other treasure quite easily. Still a lot of good stuff out on the map. Oh, and interestingly, he's going for a TP off of that, so he went 2 manas. And he must have started chopping as soon as he saw that treasure and decided to go TP. I just missed that. Meanwhile, Flontier going for a 15 vil when he gets this one in. Age up, it looks like. Maybe a bit slow. 15 vil is like personally what I do if I go like TP start, and then I put 4 vils on the wonder. I'd go like 13, 14 otherwise. And this is probably a herding / aggraville. Aggro is very standard in this matchup and most matchups, but I think Flontier is actually a bit of a fan of Carney builds, but this definitely looks like an aggraville. The only problem is, like, this looks like lots of space to place an aggro, but the trade line obstruction is actually bigger than it looks. So yeah, he might actually be struggling here to find a spot. Yeah, he's going down here. Oh, this is really sad. Because that's just... Look how much food he's stacking right now. It's just so much slower than it should be. 15 vils and he's building it with 1 vil. This is going to be like a super late aggro. Which, like, if he was going for any sort of rush, it's going to suck. And now he's getting like his market quite late. He's got all this food that he won't be able to use for a while. Well, actually, we'll see if he goes market at all. You can go TP, or you can even save the wood for a consulate if you want a consulate rush. But yeah, he is going market, just the most standard thing. TPs have been nerfed for their XP, and I think they're also still just straight up a bit worse on this map. So ignoring those might be a good play. Somppu in the meantime getting a very healthy age up time, even though he chopped a bit extra for the TP. And he's not going with the tower, he's going with, I think this is the 2 cows and 2 vils? I think it is. Yeah, there we go. So he's pretty confident about being able to defend, it looks like, without the tower. And I think that's going to pay off, because look how late the aggro is. Getting his walls messed with a bit. But, like, Flontier is not going to be able to rush, really. Unless Prince does something very, very greedy. Getting his market techs. Again, everything's just a bit late, which is unfortunate. And the wall is actually, even the fat elephant can get through, so maybe not the most useful thing. Getting his racks up. late. It looks like that was off 700 wood rather than shopping for it, but... Oh no, he hasn't gathered the wood yet. Still kind of late, but again, Flontier is very late, so... He's not going to get punished, it doesn't look like. And he is sepoy rushing though. I mean, yeah, he's going to get a full batch very easily, but it's going to hit. Well, Somp's not actually going to have that much either. And we'll see if the 12 sepoys are able to just phase through these walls. And doesn't have great coats yet either, so... Would definitely lose some bills if he's not careful. Okay, so here we are. 6 minutes is actually not too awful for a standard like sepoy rush with market in transition. But not the end of the world. Still going to be 12 sepoys versus 5 musks just because Somp's racks was so late. But he's going to go Minutemen straight away. And I think he's fine with this just because he's gotten away with so much greed that he doesn't really need to save his Minutemen for later. His eco's just going to be paying off in the meantime. Losing 2 vills? Maybe 3? No, just 2. And this is probably a pretty even, like, rush, all things considered. Somp did get away with a lot of greed. Look, it's 12 vills up already. But Flontier didn't lose many units. Forced Minutemen. Killed a couple of vills. Lost both his elephants though, and like, this is really awkward as India. Because you really want these guys like later. You want them like healing each other, you want them in later fights, but the only way to realistically get them back is to walk straight back under Somp's TC when they're back at like a reasonable HP. Which it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do soon. Oh, Somp's Explorer way back here. I wonder if he's just forgotten about him because that full HP Explorer would have been really nice to snare for that Minutemen pop. Somp going stagger mode. Take a little less damage from the aggro. But he's not going to be able to defend his TP. So many sepoys. Mixing some Gurkhas now. Makes sense because all Somp's made is musks. Somp is already getting his age up in queue. So yeah, just a pretty fast semi-build as Brit. Woodville's coin. Pretty standard, but usually, like I said, you'd have a tower. He's left one of those cows on the floor. Unfortunate, it's just going to decay. And Flontier may be having a good read on this because he's just going straight back in. I'm walling a bit more. And he's going up with Venturer. I feel like that's the wood and the Vel. Not the longbows. But I'm not sure. Oh wait, no. Maybe it's like Admiral of the Ocean Sea that's the wood and the Vel. So maybe this is the longbows. Yeah. Just me not knowing my age up names. Because no one calls them by their names, like come on. Apart from the exiled prince. So I'm keeping his TC fight pretty efficient so far. Lots of vills still gathering the back, but he can't really fight this. Does have great coats now, so sort of just pull the vills while he's getting them into his TC, and the longbows are going to come after he's lost most of his units, but there's not many Indian units left either, so might lose a few vills, but will hold. And in the meantime, well, Flontier actually could age up behind this pretty easily. He's stacking his shipment though. Yeah. So Somppu even saving. Well, that was a fresh backs actually. So he lost all of his army there, all the Minutemen and old masks, but also not losing any vills. So I think he's pretty happy with that. And he's got 2 shipments stacked already. Gonna be musks and falcons for a fast counter push on the aggro. And Flontier is just staying H2 for the moment. Just gonna try and get a big surround and right click on the falcons with a lot of cav. Yeah, Somppu electing to go for a bit more of an infantry mass just to be safe before getting the falcons on the field. Which is definitely the right call here, considering Flontier is not aging. And he's got a nice cav mass, but he just doesn't really have that much infantry to back it. And when you go for the right click on the falcons as India, you're not really relying on your cav to actually kill them. Your cav just doesn't do that much damage to falcons, and they're quite squishy as well. You're just sort of relying on them to pin the army in place and just let your huge sepoy mass walk forward and right click the falcons. But he just doesn't have an infantry mass at the moment. So if this fight does happen, as long as Somppu can sit on top of his falcons properly, I think it's going to go pretty well for him. Getting vet masks right as he's pushing out, nice timing. And going for another foundry. I think this makes sense because he's out of hunts. Great raid from Flontier. Like, he knows there's just no way that Brit has cav out at this point. And he's also pushing, so just no reason not to raid. Somp's got a really nice position here. Like, if he can just move these falcons like right into this little corner here with the cliffs. Unless something pops from the aggro on top of them. He's got to be careful though. He's not paying attention. And the falcon's just gonna die for free. Flontier losing the aggro though, so that's something Somppu has going for him, and he can still sort of. There's not enough cav to like trap and kill that army, so he gets away with the rest of it and has more falcons in queue. Wait, let's just compare the ecos again. Yeah, so Flontier is definitely ahead now. He doesn't have that trickle, and again, I can't check his market ups because they didn't play with the spec mod, but I'm assuming he has most of them. So he's ahead in eco, but he's also running out of good shipments. Like, you really need to be infantry heavy here, so like the camel ups aren't that great. This is also not that great. This is also not that great. And all he really has is 700 coin to maybe age or just mass more. And I'm not sure what he's going for here. It looks like he's trying to age, cancels that unit. Still raiding a bit in the meantime. Somppu only managing to get 1 falcon out. And I don't think he can really do that much damage before this age up's finished. He's not in position, he doesn't have that much infantry, only 1 falcon. And he also has to deal with a bit of raiding. Flontier still on auto consulate, sort of interestingly. He might want to just stay on it, like, so he can call the auto Minutemen if his TC gets pushed. Because he doesn't have enough for, let's say, red codes or anything yet. And I don't know if he got the vills or not. I can just... well, I can't see the auto vills. I don't think he did. Anyway, here's the push. Maybe should have rebuilt these Raxes and stuff somewhere a bit safer, because they're just going to go down straight away. He will have the wood from this Tower of Victory age up, at least, to maybe rebuild them, but I don't think he's going to get his vet techs in time. No in-game sound, is that right? Oh. How about now? Have I really been playing with no in-game sound this whole time? No one's even pinged me. Sorry for the unprofessionalism. I also forgot to hide the timeline. There we go. Very sorry about that. Who's to blame here? Definitely you, Chiss. Yeah, he's gonna go for Urumi right click, but I don't think Somp's scared of this at that point. As long as he can sit on top of his Falx, protect him from the cav. Flontier's trying to cut off reinforcements, but the reinforcements are just more musks, so they can just fight the Solas and get a decent trade. This is a tough situation as India. Like, he could have shipped siege elephants, but then he just wouldn't really have enough to kill the musk mass. And he's going Urumi, but he doesn't really have enough to right-click the Falx. Scores, like, they still look decent for India. He's got a lot of vills, and well, so does Somp. But I think it's going to be really hard for him to take a fight. He's lost his TC. He rebuilt one pretty quickly. Yeah, so I'm just slow rolling over his base. Oh, it looks like he's gone musk combat already. Yeah, so these are really hard to kill at the moment with colonial Gurkhas. And what does... Yeah, he's got siege elephants on the way. And Somp doesn't really have any longbows to zone them off, so they should be able to kill the Falx, but he's got so many musks that he can just walk on top of this infantry mass pretty much. Like super upgraded musks too. And I think Flontier would prefer to be on Brit Consulate now. These can maybe raid, maybe flank, but at the end of the day, you'd just rather have the HP on all your units and a batch of redcoats. And yeah, now he's buying these back. It's super painful, like I was saying. Siege Elephant's getting a good position to kill the Falx, but they take quite a while. They're really slow rate of fire. In the meantime, all the Urumi's going down. Gurkha taking volleys. Looks like maybe a hold. But now he's only got 4 vills on food. And yeah, this Gurkha once again. The carded musks can just walk on top of it. And now Somp even getting the 5 hush shipment. Oh, right. Looks like he cancelled that for the 5 hush. Yep. Now he's sitting it again. That's not many sepoys left. These are dead if he sees them. And then he can just make more Falx, and it's so awkward for India to train these. It's so expensive. He's been mana booming a bit in the meantime. He's gone from like 120, I think, to... Nah. Not really a good catch for Flontier, he only kills one for like 9 CPOs. And these are getting found, but maybe a bit AFK with the Huss. Yeah, definitely AFK with the Huss. And they escape. Which Flontier definitely needs. There's more Falcons coming his way. But he's still running into the same problem of just having no infantry mass to protect them. Still Colonial Gurkhas. And 3 more Falcons coming. I'd really like to see Somppu add some longbows. So he can zone these off. Maybe kill them if he's not careful. Yeah, getting good snipe there. But Somp's not really a longbow type of player. There's that elephant he brought back. And yeah, he can kill the Falcons, but he just can't deal with these musks. Now his siege elephant's just dying, so he's gonna have nothing to deal with. Yeah, the next Falc's just being rallied over there. It's game over anyway. So, pretty clean 2-0 for Somppu so far. Check the res graph, I guess. Pretty good for India, but he was just never able to stabilize in age 3. Never got his vet ups, never got his infantry mass quite good enough. I'm just gonna check the map pool. The next map should be Mexico. Okay, yeah, so this is also not the one they forgot to wreck. Okay, we're back. So it is Otto versus Dutch. Somp on the Otto, naturally. He's not a big Dutch player. Not his type of civ. Hide timeline, thank you. Going straight for a TP, also chopping for a mosque. Well, he's not chopping for the mosque, he's chopping the mosque instantly, then chopping 50 wood for a house. Which is just the slightly greedier standard auto opening. One thing it does allow for is Silk Road second card, but he doesn't have that, so not going to happen.
Hello? Commando?
Flontier going straight for this Ville treasure. Always a little risky to start this when it spawns in the middle of the map, but when you have a second scout and you can just
Commando?
keep him on the other side and make sure the other player's not approaching for a steal. And you also know Otto's going to be like tied up going for a TP straight away, so you've got some time just to treasure kind of safely. And yeah, Somp going all the way down here. That looks like it's going to be a free Ville for Flontier at just before 2 minutes, I guess, which is going to be very happy about that. Still just positioning that perfectly to make sure nothing's coming his way for the steal. Pretty good kiting on this. Lost quite a bit of HP actually. I don't know if... okay, enter. Doesn't show the chat box. There we go, page up. No, okay, didn't get any treasure before that. He's losing his envoy though. To this rifle which someone picked up and the explorer snare. I think you're a bit sad about this, Dust, because just like planting your envoy basically under Otto's TC before he hits H2 is really nice. Because the one thing that you always want to scout from Ottoman is what they're aging up with. And if it's the tower, you just want to follow the tower to see where it goes, and if it's wood, you want to either prepare for a stagecoach build, maybe a Jan rush, maybe a Jan Hus rush. But Somppu is also a fan, I think, of the greedier auto FF, where you don't age with the tower, you do the wood instead, and you don't chop wood in transition, you just mine coin. But he's already got a forwardish Vil. Actually, this does sort of look like a... Well, I can just see, yeah, he's going with the tower, it's a tower FF. And how does Dutch respond to a tower FF? I think they either go for a very quick, like, 3-bank FF themselves into full Reuter, or they do some sort of pike opening just to try and kill the tower ASAP. Maybe kill the TP, just really delay the pressure. So we'll see which one of those options Flontier goes for.
Commando?
So I guess interestingly, Somppu's not chopped for a TP in transition, which is not necessarily standard for a tower FF, but it's pretty common. It also signals that, like, you know, he's not gonna tech stagecoach off wood or anything. He's just gonna go for the fastest Jan Falk right click that he can. Tower going forwards. So Flontier catching that, even though he lost his envoy. Definitely good for him, he knows exactly what's coming. Som could still maybe do some, like, easy variation. Like, you know, he could just follow this up with 4 TCs, or maybe, like, Bahi and, Petards. He has done in the past. But either way, Flontier's either going to look to destroy the tower ASAP or go H3 ASAP, and since he's building a Rax this early, I would say he's definitely going to try and kill the tower. Losing his Explorer though, which this is actually really good for Somp, because he's going to need like 13 pikes to destroy this tower with this Cherokee here. And he's even starting skirms because I think he just thinks that he can't get anything done with pikes right away, which is true. And okay, yeah, so he's going for 5 skirm 8 pike timing on the tower. Okay, so Somp actually is going stagecoach off 700 wood, and he's going 600 wood as well in transition. So this is definitely a interesting variation on the tower FF. He might hit H3 without a shipment. He's also going to go for a forward Rax, which, so he hasn't actually scouted onto his base at all. So this is potentially a bit of a misread. This Rax could just die without producing anything when Flontier goes for the push. Yep, there it is. Just got the skirm, so at least he can deal with this. And yeah, there's the Rax just going down, it looks like. Giving up on it straight away. So this looks pretty good for Flontier so far. He's only got 2 banks, but like, he's already completely denied fast pressure, and he could... Not sure about the wood. He like really needs infrastructure, but at the same time, aging ASAP behind this with 700 coin, like he's macroed really well for it. Also being good at Somp just building the racks right here. He's so confident, but I don't know why. This one's gonna get nuked at like 80% build, just like the last one. He has age up though, and he does have Huss out. Which might force the pikes back, might kill a Vil. He's definitely got some exposed Vils. And Stagecoach did not get cancelled, it's still in. And he did have a shipment at least pretty quickly upon age up. So 600 wood not being too awful. And the racks finally going up in base.
Commando.
So given up on trying to deny this TP. I guess he's, yeah, well that makes sense. He's just got a good sense of the timing and knows that a shipment's coming his way, so just goes here, tries to deny this one from getting built, then loops back to his base. I completely missed what he did here. So it looks like he shipped wood and then just gathered to age. Did he build another bank? No, he did not. Maybe he market traded a bit. I feel like he got in queue quite quickly. But yeah, Somppu with a really confident 4 Huss 2 Falc push. Yeah, you just can't do this. The Vil pull even can deal with that. But not losing them and getting a pretty obvious read that Flontier's aging. And going Spa here. Very interesting. I don't know about that. I think you... Well, he does have a bit of an infantry mass. But you kind of expect us to just go full Reuter against this sort of push. Gonna definitely kill a bank though, it looks like. And Dutch with 1 bank against Otto with 3, soon to be 4 TP stage. Not a position you want to be in. Reuter's coming out, forcing this back, but like that's not enough to go in there and kill it. Like he's going for a bit of a trap, but there's gonna be Jans just in time. And I think, yeah, the Falc's not gonna die, this just ends up being pretty decent for some. Picking off enough Reuters that even just 4 Jans are enough to cover these 2 Falcs. And Flontier aged up without a shipment, I think, so this is just a little late. Now it's looking a bit dodgy for the Falcs, though. In fact, I think they're definitely going to die. At least they should. Yeah, here it goes. Still killing a few Reuters. And they did kill a bank, so they've paid off. And Flontier sacked most of his skirms, I think, in that attempt to right-click the Falc, so not much to contest the Jan mass at the moment, and 6 Abyss, and Abyss being trained coming in as the follow-up. And it's gonna be, I think, a while before Flontier can contest that with whatever skirms he can get. And look at his eco. Like, Bill's moving for hunts, 1 bank. He's building 1 now, just off of the wood that he was stacking from earlier. But even then, 2 banks is just not enough to keep up with this. Got the full stagecoach in now, getting some market ups as well, which again I cannot see. He's probably got at least a couple. And you can see in the score that Otto is just solidly ahead. Shipping skirms just because feels like he needs to survive, needs units to contest the TPs. But if Somp gets Bed Abyss in soon, that's not going to be enough skirms. Yeah, he's taking it now. Not enough skirms to contest this.
Ja.
And building another bank. It looks like he just wants to
Commando.
try and maybe get on like even-ish eco, rather than try to contest the TP line.
Klaar.
But I think either way, it's going to be really hard for him to come back. I'm like kind of pushing into a corner here, but I think he also knows he can. Like he just knows Dutch's eco is horrible. There's not going to be like 10 vet hus and 20 skirms coming to clean this up. Yeah, just a few Reuters and QEs popped horribly, and trying to siege a trading post with Reuters in the meantime. And just going straight for the bank. Super confident with his Abyss.
Ik ben gewond. Ik kan me niet bewegen.
And yeah, he's getting full batches. That stagecoach eco. And how Flontier is going 1k wood, maybe he wants to rebuild the banks he's been losing, the houses. Yeah. Just too slow. And Somp's going for... This game, he's just been extremely confident about everything he's done. The 2 Raxes, the 4 Hus, 2 Falc push, and now he's just dropping a TC on Flontier's 3rd hunt. And it's gonna pay off. I don't think Flontier could deny that, even if he does scout it.
Commando? Ja?
He's just under his TC, just desperately trying to rebuild infrastructure.
Commando?
Maybe get an army that can one day compete with this one, but now with Gen Combat even coming in, it's gonna be super hard. About 300 HP now. Beefed. Yeah, TC going up. The Vil scouting it. There's nothing he can do about it, he doesn't have siege. He's just relying on TC fire basically to scare off the Abyss.
Ik voel me nu wat sterker.
And Somp in the meantime going for another TC. Abyss caught a bit out of position, don't think he cares. And Otto isn't really winning a fight, but he doesn't have to. With 3 TCs down and the full stagecoach, and Dutch not having much eco himself. Looks like that was another skirm shipment. 7 skirms.
Commando?
So he's not going for the
Commando?
us route to kill the Abyss. He's just going to try and outmass with skirms.
Ja?
Which at the moment, he can definitely poke this army back. But he also needs to be scared of these cav shipments. Oh yeah, and when Somppu cancelled that instead of sending it way earlier. I think he shipped 8 gens instead, so he still has those 2 big cap shipments as options to deal with this. Yeah, now Flontier's sort of trading okay. Nice pulling to keep them out of range of the gens. But Somp's just scaling really hard. This 1k coin, like if he takes a fight soon and gets a lot of XP, he can just go straight into MAMs. That's not enough Reuters. Going for a little raid, but 3 Reuters are going to take 10 years to kill a Vil. Anyway, even find anything on this side. Looks like he sees these Vils, so he's going to go pressure these resources. And there's a lot of Vils here, actually. Flontier having to mine a lot for Skirmroider production, just because he doesn't have many banks. Managed to rebuild, actually. He's got 4 now, probably off the 1k wood. And infantry combat now, so he's definitely just going for the right out Skirm Abyss play. Which is working right now, but I think he's quite vulnerable to Otto's big cab shipments. And even if he just like cancels these 2 Abyss when he has a shipment soon, puts the TPs on the coin, he can just go MAMs. Forcing these Vils away with his gens while he's trading with his Abyss. Yeah, Flontier just not going to get good batches from this.
Ik voel me nu wat sterker. Ja? Ik ben gewond. Klaar. Ik kan me niet bewegen.
Still winning the Skirm War. Getting pretty good picks there. Getting back before the gens can take a volley. Now, like I said though, the MAMs are coming. And he's even just sacking some Reuters here to kill the Abyss, but he's going to need every single one of those when these hit the field. And Somp's on 50 Vils now. Getting his Moss techs probably. Or has them already rather. And it's just eating through Flontier's map. Just Flontier desperately backing more Reuters just to try and keep winning the Skirm War. But any second now. Where are the MAMs? There they are. They're going to come in and snare, and the Jan combat gens are just going to murder everything. And I think we'll probably be seeing game over soon. Flontier doesn't even, well, he's got 1 Reuter in queue now, he's building a mill. Only got 1 Reuter batch out. I'm kinda backing this stuff unnecessarily before the snare, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah, that's how much all these Reuters do in 1 volley. I thought Somppu really should have kept his gens alive, because now this is a bit awkward. Like the Vil pool will actually be sort of effective, because he doesn't have many gens to kill them, and Abyss do very little damage to Vils. It looks like he's doing a decent job of focusing the Reuters though, so the Mams can stay alive. Flontier also doing a decent job of focusing the Mams. There's only 2 left now. Need to be 1, but yeah, it's over anyway. So, Flontier going for like a really nice opening, I think. Getting the tower down, but just, even then, just not being able to deal with the early Falc timing. And Somp's kinda weird. I guess 600 wood stagecoach play paid off. Okay, but it's 3-0 for Somp so far, and I'm going to check the map pool again. Because again, we're missing a game, they forgot to record one, or at least so I've been told. And the next map is Manchuria. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, the Manchuria one they forgot to record, and I guess I'll just say the result of that after this one's been finished. So this is actually the last map and the last game of their series on Pampa Sierras, and there's been a Civs reset, the game before this, which wasn't recorded, so they're playing this matchup again. Turn that off. Again, if you're just tuning in, they played without the spec mod, so I don't have any extra info to show. Apologies.
Yes.
So this matchup again, like I said earlier, India considered one of the few decent counter picks to Brit. And it's also a nice map for India. They don't need a TP and they get these llamas, which generates them some XP as well. And plus, especially against a Civ with only 1 scout, they kind of expect to get the majority of the llamas for themselves. Both players knowing the map, going straight for this side. Pick up as many as possible. It's not that amazing for Brit, it's kind of just a little bit of extra food if you need it. Mostly I think he just wants to deny India from getting them all. He might have to... no, a bit of indecision from Somp. He's not going to chase either. So it looks like Somp will only get 2. And Flontier, if he finds this one, will get 6. Yep. Kind of expected for India to get the majority. And as soon as they're done on this side, probably going to go looking for treasures. This is nice for India still, just so much more XP. I think with like, I'm not sure exactly, but I think with like 8 to 10, it starts approaching like the same XP generation as a trading post. So definitely great to just pick up livestock as soon as you can with India. There's also this one over here, but that's a little bit harder for India to pick up. And this treasure's just, I think, probably just impossible for India to pick up in H1. Brit could start working on that kind of safely, just because India does have a crack shot that they can quickly steal it with.
Ready.
But Somp, in the meantime, he's picked up much in the way of treasures. No, nothing yet. So pretty great H1 for Flontier. And we'll see what sort of age up and strat he's looking to go for. Maybe something similar to what he did the game before in this matchup. Looks like he's going for a faster age up this time. 14 instead of 15. And hopefully for him the aggro should be a little bit easier to place on this map. Also getting 70 food before he has enough age, which is very nice. Somp in the meantime just going over here, apparently not interested in this. Gonna loop back to see if he can find anything. But it's been a pretty bare H1 for him so far. Yeah, you can see his scouting pattern. He's just been all over the map looking for something to help his age up. He's just found pretty much nothing. Now Flontier is finally heading over to this side. And yeah, he's got his age up. Slightly defensive aggro. I think it definitely could have been placed here without obstruction. So maybe signals that he's not going for quite as much of an aggressive build. Oh, also getting his hero snared. And I don't think he's going to pull away in time, so I can just switch to range mode and take the shot. Will he? Okay, he didn't need to in the end. But yeah, Flontier trying to pull away, but just too late. That's one nice little pickup in H1. Means if like a Sepoy rush is coming, it just won't be quite as scary without 2 full HP explorers. And some going up with the governor this time, okay. So the more standard defensive option with the tower. Guess he just wants to play it a bit safer this time around. And yeah, just compared the age ups this time, Flontier is just only a little bit behind, which is what India expects. Getting his market earlier, getting the techs in, starting off with civil servants, I think, is what you want because you're mostly chopping wood in transition anyway. This macro does look like, if not a Sepoy rush, like he's definitely going, I think, for a full batch of Sepoys to start. Yeah, he's not doing anything like chopping a lot of wood for a consulate or to go trickle first. And he's Sepoy rushing again, okay. Gonna be a little bit faster than this last one, but at the same time, Somppu aged with the tower. Somppu aged with the tower, but he's going really late racks again. So he's raxing basically off 700 wood, I think, like he did last time. Yeah. So you might just be seeing a straight repeat here, where Somppu just like instantly calls Minutemen to defend the push. Unlike last time though, he's going to have a tower and his explorer in position to snare. And Flontier is still missing this guy, he should really go pick that up. Just getting 11 Sepoys this time. But hitting 20 seconds earlier. So I think definitely worth missing one Sepoy for. So I'm having some exposed vills, but pretty good line of sight. Greatcoat's queued, but not in yet. And he's going to have to choose basically between having the res for Minutemen and finishing this Musk batch. And I think he's probably going to go for Minutemen. Losing the Explorer maybe a bit earlier than he should have. There was no real DPS behind it. But yeah, Flontier doesn't want to fight the Minutemen. This is just a great repeat of the other game, except he hasn't killed any vills. And Somppu is already on 37. So he's getting away with a lot of greed here and just like relying on this super early Minutemen call to defend a rush. And it's paying off, it looks like. Flontier following up with Gurkhas. Probably wants to keep pressuring now that the Minutemen are low HP. And went trickle as his immediate follow-up. Just going for the slower eco kind of play. And you can see his XP curve is pretty great. He's almost got his third colonial shipment stacked. He's stacking a little bit of wood. Not a ton though, but he could maybe drop the consulate and time it with the export shipment, I think. we'll be doing. Yep, there's the consulate. Just these. How many? 7 llamas just doing great work for him. And Prince going for the. I called him Prince. Somppu going for the exact same thing. Really fast age up.
I feel me stronger now.
The score is currently 3-0 to Somppu, and there's a missing game that they forgot to record, which was game 4. This is game 5. Yes, hi Gugus. Now with the tower fire this time, it's a bit harder for Flontier to poke. And Somp's just gonna get that age up in Q straight away. Flontier maybe... I think he saw that coin, and yeah, has probably got a pretty good read on the situation right now. Maybe picking up a Vil? No, not quite. Yeah, he knows that Somp's aging. Minutemen have been used. So he's just gonna pressure. Going auto consulate it looks like. The TC fire is going to be pretty efficient versus Seat Boy still. He's going for the Vils. Which I'm not sure about actually. Because he really wants to like punish this age up surely. Maybe the Huss would have been better. At the same time though, Brit has a very slow age up, so... Flontier already has another shipment. He could have gone 700 coin. But he's going Soas. So I think the auto Huss would have been better. He's going to get them pretty soon anyway. Not managing to defend this pretty well just with TC fire though. Even though he's got Pure Musk versus Seapoy Goka. Once again, not training a single longbow. Double Rex, he's just got a really great eco right now. Yeah, definitely ahead. And his hunt situation. Not great, but it'll be enough to just let him survive and get batches until he's aged. Check without Fog of War. Oh, he actually has to go a long way for his next hunt. This could, I didn't check at the start, but like this could be a hunt screw. Like this spawn is... Maybe he got like 2 and he's eaten them already. But the next ones look super far. This one probably started closer. So did this one. Anyway, aging with the longbows again. Extra defense. And Flontier's doing the exact same thing. Where he has this sort of delayed timing with a lot of cav but not a lot of infantry, and he's going to try and kill the Falk army like that. Which, even though he killed the Falks for free last time, didn't work, so... If Somppu covers his Falks well this time, I really don't see it working. Getting his fed up in, nice and early. And yeah, sending a Vil all the way out here, scouting for his next hunt. At least now that he's aged up, he can spend like the wood and gold on vet techs and maybe like more Falks and stuff. Going straight for the aggro. Probably not necessarily sure what Flontier's doing, but I think he's confident either way in this army. Nice little drag box reposition. Ark's getting a good volley. And Flontier going for the flank again. Getting a nice raid. Once again, Somppu has nothing mobile to respond to it. And the Falcons are exposed with a stable like right on top of them. But again, Somppu is just a very confident player. He's losing one to a Sequo Pop. Yeah, he's running out of food now. And he's also getting raided. So he's really just relying on his army to win this game right now. Even though this is a huge split, like you really don't need to send back this many musks to deal with 5 sowers. Flontier looks like he's in an awkward position, not trying to age, but also doesn't have the production to spend his res. Some losing bills, now India is ahead in eco, but Somp's army is looking pretty unkillable for him at the moment. They're rebuilding stuff because he needs production. Raid finally slowly getting dealt with. And looks like he might just be trying to kill the Falcon. I think he can. If he just oh, now not with all these musks. He should probably just try to garrison 10 bills and just slowly whittle it down. But okay, he's going for the triple Minutemen on the Falcon. And it'll definitely go down. And this time he actually does have a decent enough Gurkha mass to deal with the Falcons. I mean, to deal with the musks left over. So this will force Sump back at least for the meantime. And stacking this shipment is pretty unfortunate because this could already be 700 coin on the floor and it could already be an age up to follow up from forcing Sump's army back. But instead it looks like he's market trading Tiger Claws. Which, again, Somppu is making pure musk and more Falcons, so I don't know what that's going to do for you as India. So this is just sort of what happens when like you play infantry heavy as India. Just like run out of good H2 shipments. Even wood's just not that useful because he went for a pretty early trickle. There's plenty of wood anyway. Sump I think already has musk combat too. Oh, wrong deck. Yeah, musk combat, so... Oh, this is gonna be brutal. I think you could have popped them on the front actually, like that's not enough Gurkhas to just like go in melee and kill them. They're only getting one volley actually. Still raiding. Be nice. Could pick up these guys and like loop them back around and heal themselves. They have enough HP. And again, Somp's army is just looking unkillable. Unless he loses his Falcons for free again. No, Flontier not really noticing in time. He might kill one, but he does kill one. Not really an amazing trade for him though. And Sump only needs 1 or 2 Falcons alive to force a fight. Trying to get a flank on this. Still on auto consulate again. Again, I think once you use the Minutemen, just want to switch over to Brit ASAP for the extra HP. I'm just right clicking the TC. I think he knows that even if he does get flanked, musks can just deal with everything. And yeah, it looks like Flontier's not even trying to focus fire these. Now he is, but just too late. They've gotten so many volleys. And Somp's even reinforcing with more Falcons, and he's got the res for way more musks, way more Falcons. This looks like game over now. Double score. Yeah, there's the GG. Alright. Coin popping. Now it's useless anyway. And the game should be over any second now. There we go. So, the missing game... One sec, let me just check. Okay, so yeah, the missing game was Manchuria, and I believe that was also a victory for Somp. So that's just 5-0. Pretty good showing from him. So I think Flontier's very rusty, even though Somp's a bit rusty as well. But a very nice full 5-point pickup for the Blockhouse Boomers. And yeah, that'll be all. So thank you for watching.